Welcome back to the Race Recap. I am Joe, and this is a real show about real ski racing. This week, I am going to be doing the pre-cap for the Lech Zürs parallel event being held this weekend. But first, I want to go over the production meeting that Brett and I had after the first episode came out. We got a ton of really good feedback, and I want to thank everybody that reached out and support. Couple changes to the show. We are going to be adding profile pictures of the athletes right here as they go through. Yep, everybody's happy about that. And we have actual race footage to break down of the actual World Cup in Solden. Super exciting news. Stick around for that. We are also moving to a full North American focus here in the show. That means we're going to be talking about all the Canadians and all the Americans, regardless of how good they do in the race. We are here as North American sport fans. With that being said, let's jump right into the ladies' action from Solden. Valerie Grenier, Canadian, had a phenomenal race. She was 6th on the first run, ended up 7th overall. She looks like she belongs out there. I'm really looking forward to what she does the rest of the season. Moving down the Canadian list, we get Cassie Gray. Now, if anybody remembers Kranjska from last year, they remember that Cassie Gray showed up and in her first 2 World Cup GS starts made the second run in what was an extremely difficult, rough, gnarly snow condition situation over there in Kranjska. She just skied solid in those Kranjska races, made some second runs. Now, she did not make the second run here in Solden. She was already 3 seconds out by the time she made the bottom of the pitch. And from what I saw, she had some pretty good skiing coming all the way down. So I'm not really sure what happened above that. But what I did see of her at the bottom there, she is an easy second run contender on the World Cup. So whatever she needs to clean up top, if she does that, can ski the way she skied from where the camera picked her up on Peacock to the finish line, she's an easy second run girl all the way through. Looking forward to seeing that. Good luck, Cassie. After Cassie Gray in bib 64 was Britt Richardson, friend of the show, Britt Richardson. She looked pretty good. She is 18 years old. This was her first ever World Cup. She's the youngest Canadian athlete on the ski team. She's out of Canmore, Canada, up in the Canadian Rockies, and attended Burke Mountain Academy. And that's all I really know about her so far. What I saw in her skiing was that she looked good on the bottom pitch. She showed some energy. She hit the flats and she kept pumping. She looked comfortable. And then what I really liked was when she came to the finish line, she was excited. She was exuberant. I didn't see any nerves from her. I saw a girl who was pumped up to be there, and it looks like if she can keep that attitude and just dial in whatever she needs to dial in, she's going to be a second run contender too. Keep it up, Britt. Looking forward to watching you all season. Rounding out the North Americans, we have Sarah Schlepper of Mexico. It is awesome to see Sarah Schlepper still out there ripping it. She still did the roar in the start, which I was psyched about. Love to get a picture up here, Sarah. It doesn't look like she can get her hip into the turn anymore. She was really unwilling to engage that hip coming down the pitch. Her feet were out, but her hip was over here by her outside foot, not locked into the turn and going. Good luck, Sarah. I hope you make the Olympics. Looking forward to watching you all season long. On the men's side, we have Eric Reed, a Canadian. He is a consistent top 30 guy, really good skier. He did not have his A game out there. It didn't look like he was fully standing or fully committed to his outside ski all the time. And this is through the bottom of the turn. I'm not talking about the initiation. His initiation, he was doing the jump stivs and the jump switches like everybody else. But once he got the ski into the fall line, he was not able to get his hip to move in the way he needs it to get that pressure strong on the outside ski. So, not the best day out there for Eric Reed, but looking forward to some good stuff from him moving forward. Trevor Philp, another Canadian, had a pretty good first run, came down, made the second run. He actually won the bottom split all the way at the end of that flat. I don't know what that means. I'm not going to get all the way into it because I don't have his picture right here. Next up for the Americans was Ryan Cochran-Siegel on new equipment, moving from Rosington last season to Head this season. He didn't quite look as comfortable as he needs to be to make the second run in a World Cup. He was close. He was 31st on the first run. However, I would say based on looking at his skiing, he didn't quite have his A game. He came into all of his stivs with this really narrow stance and wasn't able to move on to the ski from there. He looked a little tight. He just doesn't look totally comfortable yet. But Ryan Cochran-Siegel is going to be an overall World Cup threat. I don't know if it's going to be this year, but it's going to be soon. He's a 3-event guy, downhill, Super G. He's going to get some wins there. And if he can start making GS a top 7 event for him, here's a guy who's got a chance to win the overall World Cup. Go get him, Ryan. Next up for the Americans was Bridger Guile. Now here's a guy I don't know much about. I've never seen him ski before. However, when I reached out looking for some shots, he responded right away, said he'd seen the show, and was excited to get back to me. Bridger's got some really good technique. Bridger looks like a second run guy. He consistently lost his time split by split, so it doesn't look like there was one big mistake here or there. So I'm not really sure if he just needs to clean up a few things in his skiing. What I see is a guy who's dynamic, who's strong, and could be making some second runs very soon. Bridger Guile, let's get a photo up here. Get it done, buddy. Next up for the Americans, bib 58, George Steffi. Now, George, I have seen ski in person one time, and I've stood next to him a number of times. George Steffi is a physical specimen. The dude is massive. I don't know how tall he is, but I know that he's incredibly strong. He's at least 6 feet tall, but his strength is really what's phenomenal. Now, we didn't get to see much of George's run. He basically came into view, already late and behind, tried squatting out an incredibly difficult turn, threw a power stiv and it exploded out of the course. I hate to say it, but it felt a little bit like deja vu. I feel like I've seen that same move, that same scenario from George Steffi a number of times when he's gotten his opportunities on the World Cup. I wonder if he's just so big and so strong and he's trying to rely on that to get him out of situations versus skiing with a little bit more tactics. From what I saw, he already came into view way too late, way too low behind the course for that section, and he really had no chance. And that like desperation move he made for the stiv there was just that, a desperation move. He was already way offline. He does, however, have a phenomenal mustache in his profile picture that they show when he's in the starting gate, so kudos to you on that, George. I missed the Canadian, Riley Seeger, bib 53. Riley ran a super low bad boy line where he was just arcing out these power turns down the pitch and somehow arced his way back online. Now, it was super slow, and he didn't make the second run, but I was pretty impressed that he was able to arc his way through, regaining his elevation. The damage is already done, though. If you're that low in a World Cup and it takes you 3 gates to arc your way back into it, you didn't have a shot anyway. You got to be online the whole way down. But anyway, Riley Seeger, there's a guy I don't know much about. Don't have a headshot yet, but soon. Riley, send me a picture. Next up, we have friend of the show, Patrick Kenny, PK. This guy went to the University of New Hampshire. He is a Burke Mountain Academy graduate before that, and he is racing with Team Global or Global Racing. Paul Epstein, head coach there. This is a great program to be with. So he is not named to the U.S. ski team, and he's working hard to get himself some World Cup spots. And this was his first World Cup start. I got in touch with PK during the week, and he gave me some insight. There are going to be time trials to get the last spot for World Cup starts throughout the season. PK calls them attainable, which I'm psyched about. I hope he does make World Cups. But in the meantime, he and the Team Global are here in the United States trying to run NORAMs to get one of them a top 80 ranking in the world. And what will happen when one of them gets a top 80 ranking in the world, they are going to get to use a World Cup spot that is left over from Ted Ligety retiring last season. I don't know how that works, but I'm looking forward to hearing how those boys do. Hopefully someone can get a top 80 rank and we get another spot in World Cups. Go get them, guys. Now, PK sent me some race footage from Solden that we're going to show right here. But first, let's take a break and hear from our sponsor, Course Reports. The number one Course Report cassette tapes on the market. All right, Jerome. This thing runs fantastic. Come out of the start, great flow through rainbow right, rainbow left, and then coming into snowball, you're gonna have to make a couple quick switches. Flows great down there. The left footer dragging over towards the head wall is a big one. Make sure you set up, give yourself a little extra space. Coming into the head wall, a little stiff coming into it, and then get on that right foot at the bottom. Hold your speed. Make sure you set your edge on that one. It's all about carrying speed out of there. It is quick and stacky through kangaroo. Just keep moving. Make a good move coming over kangaroo, and then flow it all the way to the finish line. Keep skiing. A little bit of rollover at the bottom, a little bit of setup, but no issues. Full roll-ups all the way to the completion.
All course reports are digitally mastered on a cassette tape and can be shipped to you by U.S. mail. Each course report costs $44. That's $22 a run. To order, email joethedad33@gmail.com. Shipping rates apply.
I can't believe how good that product is. You better watch out for those athletes with a Walkman in their pocket because they're getting the good course reports and they're going to start putting down some hot runs. I am so thankful for Pat Kenny for sending this footage because now we have a legitimate base skiing breakdown. Base skiing breakdown. All right, let's get started. So it appears that Paul is standing at the bottom of the big pitch looking up. I'm not sure how many gates we're missing as it curls over, but you're going to get to watch it with me. Let's get going. Coming into view. All right, red gate. Now here's the first major mistake right there on that left footer. He gets twisted up and slides low. I like this skiing here. It's pretty strong. The jump switch there was really strong. He's clean on the outside ski. Does look to me right there and there like he's rushing to get off the old outside ski maybe a little bit. Back to some good dynamic skiing. That little stiff there in the delay, that's a time killer. For the most part, I'm okay with stivet, but that definitely is not a good place to run a stivet. As a World Cup athlete, you definitely want to be rolling that one up and hammering that. This is real World Cup footage. Shot by a coach, no licensing. I don't know. I hope this is okay, but we're going to show it. Now that we've gotten to see it all the way through, let's get in there and let's really break this run down. All right, let's watch it again. Red gate. All right, as he's coming down the pitch. Now this mistake right here is not a mistake of the red gate. This mistake here started all the way back here. He comes out. There's your switch. There's the stiff. Notice how far in front of the rise line that stiff is, and then which would be fine if he continued the slide all the way to the rise line. However, watch this. He's going to drop his skis into the fall line there, still ahead of the rise line. He's going to try and connect him. Now he pinches again. Now see how I had to slide his skis again for a second time? So he's got a double turn going. Obviously, this isn't the way he wants to be hitting gate. He's pinched it off because he switched too early and got off his stiff too early. Now he's late. Okay, now he's lost his elevation. And now he's got to throw another big stiff, but there's no chance. This is that little power stiff that he's trying to throw, but because he's lost so much elevation, he can't feather into it. He's got to throw it all the way sideways. It doesn't work. He goes sliding past the gate. Now he's rotated and losing a ton of time going across the hill. So there's big mistake number one. Now, I like these turns here. There's a good jump switch. Ready? Here we go. Jump switch, slide. And notice how this time on the slide, here's the jump switch, slide. He doesn't engage the ski still right here. That's past the rise line. And now he can stand on the outside ski and bring it across the hill. That's great. Now, when I said before, I think he's getting off his outside ski a little early. Right here. Look at how early he's off of that thing. I want him to ride that thing further across the hill. I'd love to get an overlay of him and Brenster, who is the Austrian that won the first run.
Brett says Roland Leidinger.
So here, okay, another jump switch. There's the jump switch, land. Notice how that actually worked great for him. But he had to take a huge jump to make it happen. But here's the jump switch. Huge air, slide, connection to the snow. That's a great turn. Nothing wrong with that turn. Here we go again. Little lift the tail and pivot. Stiff it around, coming through. Strong on the outside ski. That's a fast World Cup turn. Maybe he's hooking a little hard right here. You see how he goes from outside of the groove. Now inside it, almost above the groove. And again, I think rushing off the outside ski too early right here. I wish he'd stay with that a little longer and ride it. There's another one of those big jumps. Look where he's landing though. He's not even close to the rise line. He's already going for a slide. Redirects the skis into the fall line, stands on it. Makes a pretty great turn right there. Really well done. Not the perfect execution, but really well done. Okay, but now, here was this big move where he jumped in, pretty good turn, off the skis, super. Look at where he's starting this transition. Look at where he's changing the skis. I mean, this is just crazy early, okay? And watch what happens. Now he's crazy early, slide, 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 slide. Lost the outside ski a little bit, still sliding. Now it's starting to carve, but he's low. He's low, and you had to do that little extra skitch right there. That's a time sucker. It takes time off the clock. Goes into this one. This is not a good stiff, okay? This right here is a safety maneuver. It's a bailout plan. I don't know, but this is not how you draw it up. So he goes in like that, slide, 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 slide. He would have liked to have been connected to the snow somewhere in here, but he's not. He's still slide, slide, sliding past it. He's below the gate. He's in the soft stuff. Now he's got to throw another stiff where maybe some people are rolling it up. He's trying to get back online, and now he's back online, okay? But barely. Here he comes into this one. Another stiff. See, this is the first one where he's probably regained control. This stiff right here, he's probably got control. Good carve right there. See him inside the groove? Nice. Now let's get to rolling turns here. And then this is just not what you want to be doing in a delay. I mean, you got to be able to roll this one up, PK. I know you can, but it was so hairy above that, I don't blame you for skitching coming into that. No big deal. So, I think you can see it. Let's let it play through. Okay. Good skiing down here. I mean, the kid is a dynamic skier. I like what I see. Get that course worker out of the way. He's rolling through all the way to the bottom. That's a World Cup. This is his first World Cup run. Psyched he's doing it. Let's watch it through one more time. Here we go. From the top. Ready? There's that early switch. Then he's not able to maintain elevation, loses some time there. A couple of good ones here. The big jump, which actually worked out great. Now here we go. This one doesn't work out so great. Yeah, slide a little low, slide a little low, lose some time. Couple more stiffs. It's much easier to stiff it 3 gates up, make a couple good turns, and then carve that third gate than it would be to carve a couple gates up and then have to stiff the bottom gate. Not easier, but it's faster. It'd be faster to stiff 3 gates up and then carve the third gate versus carve 3 gates up and have to stiff the third gate down. So there it is. That is real footage from a real World Cup in this week's Base Skiing Breakdown.
And that was the end of the Base Skiing Breakdown.
Moving on to Lech. Now, Lech is in Austria. Lech sounds like a totally awesome place to go on a ski vacation. I skied with a crazy banker last year who had skied that in Lech, and he's vacationed all over Europe. He told me Lech was his #1 favorite place to go because it was so big. This guy liked to go fast. What Lech is it looks like it's 4 valleys all interconnected into one ski resort or one pass, and you can ski and tour and go around the whole thing. Someday I would love to get out there and do a ski vacation, but for now I'm just going to watch it on the World Cup. They are in the Zürs section of Lech. I don't know if I'm saying that or not right, but I believe this is one where they have the little hill coming off the side right next to town, so it's going to be on a real slope on natural snow, not in a big erected in the city thing. I could be wrong. I don't know yet. I haven't seen anything, and I'm not on Instagram stalking anything. In these parallel events, we have 4 American girls going. On the ladies' side, we have 2 girls going. We got Paula Moldsen, who was 4th. No, was she 2nd? We have Paula Moldsen, who was 2nd in this event last year. Should have won it. And AJ Hurt. I am looking forward to Paula Moldsen being vintage Paula Moldsen here with really strong, long outside ski pressure, a really kind of engaged, almost a cocked hip position that really works well for her in this situation. I'm looking for her to be strong, to get out of the gate, qualify fast early, and get it done. AJ Hurt, I'm not sure what she looks like in these things, but I have a feeling that she's a gamer. So look for AJ Hurt to qualify and then make something happen in the runoffs. Looks like we have 3 girls going. We have Nina O'Brien, who, of course, she's running this. She's over on the other side of the page that I'm looking at here. Nina O'Brien racing in this thing. I am hopeful that she can get out of the gate early, get a good qualifying time, set herself up for some easy first round action, build a little confidence, and then she can crush some of the top girls later. The start list is not available for the men yet. However, I have heard via the Instagram that River Radamus will not be competing. He tweaked his knee training downhill. I don't know, that sounds to me like a baseball pitcher that rolls their ankle playing basketball. There's River Radamus, who's just about to break in and become a top 5, maybe even a podium threat every single GS. Need to be doing downhill? I don't know. I'd like to see him cement himself as a podium guy, get some maybe even wins, but at least podiums, then start building it back up. Seems crazy that we're still pushing our best Americans all the way to downhill when they're so young, still, even though we've had problems with it in the past. That is going to do it for today's race pre-cap. I'm looking forward to watching all these runs. I am not going to get to watch them until Sunday night, however, because I'm going mountain biking in Moab. See you next week. But I will watch every single racer, every single run, and get to you Monday or Tuesday next week with my full analysis, breakdown, and hopefully more headshots and more videos of athletes that we can put right up here. You can follow along, watch all your favorite American, Canadian, and Mexican athletes, charge your heart on the World Cup all season long. And if you know Frederica Brigioni or Martina Bassino or Laura Good or any of these awesome girls or Marco Odermatt or Vincent Kretschmar or Bad Voice, tell them to send me their headshots too, because obviously I want to talk about those people too. Looking forward to seeing you next time. Keep shredding. Brett, that's a wrap.